Today we've got a preview of the big showdown on Thursday. That's going to be the Biden and Trump debate. We'll get some background, we'll look at the rules, and we'll discuss the pros and cons for each side. I'm not sure if a stream is going to happen, but if it does, it does. Now let's not waste any time, let's get right into this. So this debate is going to be held in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be hosted by CNN. The moderators are going to be Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. Now this debate is going to be an hour and a half. There's going to be 2 commercial breaks that are apparently 3.5 minutes each. We've also got no opening statements and no live audience. And finally, they're going to try to mute their microphones outside of their turn to talk. Now, apparently there was already a coin toss. Joe Biden won. He decided he's going to have the right podium facing the audience. But for closing statements, Trump is going to go last. So those are some interesting changes for this early debate. I'm heavily pro-debate. It's unusual to get one in June. Hopefully we get at least 1 or 2 more. But so far we've only mentioned Biden and Trump. What about Kennedy? Why is he not going to be on this stage? Well, the qualifications are listed here. Most of these are pretty basic, but the bottom bullet point says have a level of support of at least 15% of the national electorate as determined by 4 national public opinion polling organizations selected by CNN, with such polls dating between March 13th and June 20th. So for a while we've seen Kennedy polling in the 10 to 15% range nationally. In the last month or so the polls have dropped a little bit for Kennedy, but for the most part I would guess that both Biden and Trump do not want to see Kennedy on that stage. Now I've also heard that Kennedy might not be on enough ballots in enough states to be able to win the Electoral College. The response to that I've heard is he has gathered enough signatures in most of these states, but he's still waiting on the verification. If that is the case, that does seem like kind of a cheap loophole to get him off the stage, but at the same time, a 15% threshold is a high bar to meet. He has met that in the past, but he's also met double digits pretty easily. Both Biden and Trump are going to have their reasons for not wanting Kennedy on the stage. I think Biden and Democrats are more scared and would fight harder to keep Kennedy off the ballot and off the stage, but Trump is also going to be worried that Kennedy can siphon off a little bit from his support. I know Kennedy and his campaign have been tied up heavily in the courts dealing with ballots in different states, but there was a recent poll here that shows 71% want Kennedy in that debate. It's not at all surprising. A lot of voters are dissatisfied with both Biden and Trump, but even if they like one or both of them, it seems like Kennedy is a serious enough candidate to actually put on the stage. I'm pretty sure they want to see Kennedy just give up. It looks like he's going to keep on going, but it does seem like the 2 major party establishment duopoly would do whatever it takes to not have a threat from a third party. So it's just going to be Biden and Trump. So I'm going to scroll through the rest of this and give you some of my thoughts. So first of all, does this debate format benefit Biden? Does it benefit Trump? Or does it benefit neither? Well, as usual, I think it all depends on how you want to look at it. Trump is used to big crowds, and without a crowd there, he might not be able to feed off that energy. Biden would theoretically benefit from a more low-key situation where microphones are cut and Trump is unable to talk over him. So that could benefit Biden, but at the same time, if Trump is a little bit more subdued without a crowd, that can make him look more civil and potentially electable to any voters that might be undecided. Now, they're both unable to consult with their staff during the commercial breaks, and they're only going to be able to have water and take some notes. But what do these 2 actually have to do in this debate? Well, there's not going to be anybody that doesn't know who they are, so getting their name ID up is not going to be a factor. Most people remember the 4 years under Trump. They remember 3.5 years under Biden. A lot of minds are already made up. At this point, I think a lot of it is just going to be vibes. From Biden's perspective, he's going to say he has a long list of accomplishments that are just not getting through to the electorate. Now, that part I think we hear from everybody in power. During the Trump years, he would frequently mention how much he's accomplished. Neither side is going to want to say they haven't done a lot in office. So if Biden starts listing some of the things he's done, again, I think it might just come down to vibes, and those specifics might not resonate that much. I think the most dominant thing with Biden is most people think he's very old. And I always think it's not really about his specific age, but much more about how he presents himself. Trump's only slightly younger, but it seems like they're 20 or 30 years apart. Trump definitely has the energy, but that's not necessarily a winning formula. 4 years ago, he also had the energy, and a lot of people thought there's no way Biden could win. But all that energy and all the crowds at Trump's rallies did not translate into a victory. So Biden looking sharp and aware, I think, is going to be a key, possibly because the bar is set kind of low. If people already expect him to be old and he comes off looking a little less old, that could be enough for him to come out of this with momentum. That's similar to what we saw after the State of the Union. Now, if he at all comes off as senile or gives some kind of a nonsensical answer, then there might be no recovering that image for Biden. Now, Trump, on the other hand, is going to want to make it a referendum on Biden. He's probably going to keep it simple and ask if you feel that you're better off now or 4 years ago. He's going to go for inflation and immigration, and those are definitely going to be his 2 big strengths. Now, Biden's big strengths are going to be abortion. He should mention it, but I don't think he should dwell on it, and I would guess he's not going to miss the opportunity to talk about how Trump is a convicted felon. His other big topic might be democracy in general and how Trump is going to be a threat, but Trump can always come back and just say that's selective, given that Biden and the Democrats did not really have a legitimate primary for president on their side. But I also expect it to go back and forth. You're probably going to hear a lot of numbers thrown around about the economy and immigration and crime. The other side is going to say they're false, misleading, or hyperbole. There's bound to be a lot of stats, but who knows what's actually right. We might hear about Hunter Biden, we might hear about January 6th, but I would hope there's some good policy discussion and good moderating. I do want to see both of them pressed, and I would not underestimate either side. If Democrats and Republicans have low expectations for the other side, I think that's a mistake. I think both should come into this expecting a strong performance from the other side. So I'd like to see a crowd there, but I guess it's going to be great to not have them interrupting with cheers every couple of minutes. Other than that, I'm guessing there's going to be some chaos, but it's not going to be overwhelming. It could end up being very mundane, or there could be some fireworks. Maybe there'll be some great zingers. Maybe there'll be one of these legendary debate moments. You could go on and on forever about this, but I'm going to leave it there for now. So let me know in the comments, what are you expecting in this debate? What are the strengths and weaknesses for both Biden and Trump in this format? What should their plan of attack be, and what should they watch out for? And what do you think about the debate format itself and how Kennedy has been excluded? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's not fair? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.